Okay, we're gonna do a quick walk around video on a windy day with the 74 911. Pretty straightforward car. Spent a little bit of time sitting before it was donated. Yes, this car was donated, believe it or not. And the car donation company, my client, they put a little bit of time and effort and money into this car. Well, because it's this, and it's worth doing. So fuel system's been gone through. It's got brand spanking new tires on it, the proper Pirelli, the Centenarios, a genuine Porsche mechanic spent his time with it, went through all the CIS system, the old K-Jetronic, make sure it was nice and healthy. Invoices to follow on that, but otherwise we're going to go around what I feel like is a really kind of just a straightforward, honest driver's car. It is not showroom perfect, it has its warts, but it's still a very nice car. It seems very sound mechanically, and there's a lot going on with it to like all around with this car. So we're going to go through it and check it out real quick. We'll get to the exterior. It has had a respray. We'll go over the details on that, but we'll start here. Windows work. Mats. Hoping underneath it's in good shape. This guy's pretty on and off, hot and cold, doesn't really want to work most of the time. You hit some bumps, it comes back to life. So I'm thinking it's just a bad ground. Engines work. Just in case you want to drive this car in the rain, the wipers do work. I straight up don't know how this guy works. Oh, oh, hey, it's blowing. It's a little noisy, but the fan was working. This is defrost, I assume? I actually don't know. I don't think those are the fogs. But it's two-step, so I don't know. I'm not a huge 911 guy, so you know, shame on me for not knowing all about what that is. But I'm finding myself becoming a 911 guy. I've been hanging out with a bunch of Porsches lately, and I get it. I'm cracking on the leather on the wheel, but this is, from my understanding, the original wheel. Shifter's good, it finds all the gears. I will say it did take me a minute to get used to finding fifth. You pretty much just got to come just out of fourth and then over and up. If you go up a little bit too high, it just wants to find third. I don't know if that's a common thing on these, or I'm just not used to driving these 915 gearboxes, but yeah, that's a thing. Hand throttle works. I use that for the cold start, if you noticed. It's got this aftermarket but appropriate Blaupunk stereo. It does have the original Europa 2, which is uninstalled, and it's in the trunk, so that comes with it. Seats are pretty good shape. There's a little split in the seam on this driver's one. I'll show you here in a second, but otherwise, it's a good one. Popped out of there. see, I said it was resprayed. They did a fair job on it, I'll say. You can see there's overspray on stuff. It's kind of a shame, overspray on this. So there's overspray on the hood release here. You see there's overspray in some places. I'll go over the exterior details here in a little bit. But the finish is actually pretty smooth. It's a decent finish. Some of the detail work is not great. Good struts work as they should. Pretty rust-free car. I know it's been in California a long time. Whether it was original California car or not, I'm not sure. I'm going to do some more homework on that between now and this is running live. But we will figure that out. That's what I was talking about there. And these are a bunch of parts I got changed out from the mechanic that worked on it to get it ready for the sale. As I said, I'm going to have invoices to match all of this. But as you can see, a whole lot of fuel system stuff. And a lot of gaskets, a door check I saw in here. So it looks like they replaced a door check. They did some other stuff. That's fun. I know this is, I believe, the problem area on these cars. A little bit of rust. Nothing too crazy. We'll get it up in the air and we'll get a whole bunch of photos of it up in the air so we can really investigate and see how much that part of that goes. I don't think it goes much past that little looks like the battery tray here, which is where stuff likes to rust. And there is a fuel tank. See the rest of the body up here, fuel filler, all that. I'm not going to really struggle to put this all the way back because we're going to be back in here later for some more photos. Look at me, I forgot to unlock that side, so we're going to go back here for now. That other side, but until then, might as well check back here. There's the seats you'll probably never use, but they are there. They're in good shape. Or cocoa mats. so. As I said, there was a little split on the driver's side here. A little bit of wear on the piping. Then we got the split at the seam right here. And there's a small split at the seam right here. Intact otherwise. The vinyl's still in decent shape. The rest of it is just that seam. Go check out the other side real quick. Then we'll go for a drive. You can see this guy rolls down just as he should. Nice. There's a little bit of sign of some really inconsequential rust here. Same with here, just some spots. Whenever they repainted, they didn't jam it. You can see there's a kind of a little bit of overspray here. And a little bit of overspray on the rubber here. And we'll go around the outside. It's a shame they didn't really spend all the time deep trimming the car when the paint itself actually is not too terrible. There's some imperfections in it, but all told, compared to the prep work, it's actually a pretty good paint job. The prep work was not great. What I mean by that is you can see there's overspray on this rubber here. I've tried to capture this in the photos. On the door rubber here, on these door gaskets, there's a little bit of overspray where you can see they masked it instead of R9'd it. Same with all these body seams here. There's weather stripping in here. Weather stripping around the windshield, around the wipers, the sprayers, pretty much most everything, which, you know, for a driver is fine. You know, I wouldn't take this to Pebble necessarily. Well, not to entry, but to drive it, heck yeah. I would just drive the snot out of this car. And if that's what you're doing with it, see there's some overspray here. This guy's got the cracks, it's pretty typical. Little bit of overspray on the top of it. But the finish itself is actually pretty decent. There's not a lot of orange peel in it. If you find, there are some spots you'll find some imperfections. Up here on the roof you'll see there's some imperfections. But overall, it doesn't sound like it's full of mud. They actually did a pretty good job of, you know, applying the paint. They just didn't do all the prep work in the world. But it still looks great, it still sounds great, it still drives great, it's really tight. It's a very honest, nice driver car. Which, I don't know, if I were shopping for one of these, that's what I'd be doing. I want something I can drive, not something that's ultra low miles and I'm afraid to put miles on. As I said, these tires have all of about, I don't know, 45 miles on them, if that. They were just installed this past week. They're the correct Centenarios. That's pretty much it. So we'll take her for a spin, we'll drive it. You're free to bid on this as you see fit. I'm really kind of curious to see where this car is going, and ultimately the proceeds are going to the charity, which is rad. I find it incredibly cool that somebody would donate their air-cooled 911 to a charity, which is just, I don't know, a lot of fun. So less of me talking, more of me driving this car. Let's check it out. want to get a quick shot of the moody, cranky oil level gauge. Let's just call it not accurate, but it likes to bounce around and jump around and do what it wants. Okay, so we're going to do a quick cold start with the 74 911. Car's been sitting here, oh, I don't know, probably 2 days, 3 days. I'm gonna set this guy down. I'm gonna see what comes out the tailpipe. We'll do a cold start. The hand throttle at about halfway, because it's about high 50s today. It's cold for us here in the Bay Area, but for the rest of the world, not particularly cold. I'll give it a minute and I'll kick it back down. Here, let me see if I can knock it down a little bit here. There we go. Alright, doesn't want to be all the way off on the hand throttle just yet. Give it a little bit more. There we go. It's at like a quarter. So once it gets to operating temp, it'll be happier. Anyways, I'm gonna go take it for a quick drive. We'll get a couple more photos. We'll do our drive video and yeah, do a quick walk around. Let's do it to it.